already?
Is it working?
Well, you should have actually hung up with him right away.
I know, right?
This is awesome.
This is amazing.
This is just great.
Are we streaming or not?
I think we are.
I think we are.
Do you see comments?
And
Hey
it's
guys,
going.
do you see us in the comments? Let us know. Can you hear us? Because Lord knows we have no idea.
There's no light on the camera.
They don't hear us.
Do they see us?
No.
Yeah, the
Nope.
camera isn't lit. Well, actually, yes, it is.
it okay?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
previewing now, or did we start the stream?
We
Did you
started
start?
streaming. We
Oh,
can
wait,
only
no, I'm
read
just
you.
going blind.
Nope.
That's not.
Call the studio. This is just
This
awesome.
is fun.
This is great. So, I don't know, in case...
Ha!
Yeah. It says you're streaming.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, so I can't access anything on this computer anymore.
What do you want me to do?
So do we have like a whiteboard? We can just write things.
Exactly.
Held up.
Yeah.
I just watched the Martian the other night.
Like-
Like, do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Isn't that the
I'm on
best
OBS.
movie?
Oh, it's so good, yeah.
So good.
Well,
Did you read the book?
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
So
You can see us?
The book is excellent.
I'm the one who
Well, the
wrote
book is
it.
I
amazing.
know.
Yeah.
It goes much
I couldn't read the
deeper.
book.
Hey, they
I
see
couldn't read the
us.
book in one
Hey.
second.
They see us?
Really good, so it's
Can
definitely
you hear us? Come on. Can you hear us?
That's.
Yay!
With sound?
Oh,
Everyone just-
It's blinking.
Right.
It's been blinking.
Oh,
Have fun.
And we're not
Oh,
using that
God,
mic
thanks.
anyway.
oh well.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, you want to go back?
So can they hear us?
Yes, I can.
So,
Okay.
all right, well, come back.
Okay, okay.
Mike,
okay.
get in.
Yeah, just don't,
Yeah, right there.
don't knock everything up. Just
Sit on the floor, kiddo. So, we're finally live from the living room of George. So, thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
And if that doesn't give you confidence that we can make a great game, I don't blame you at all. That was interesting because actually we did get here, and to make it worse, look, we've always told you folks, we don't BS. You know, BSC, yeah, but no BS. We actually got here at 2 o'clock to make sure everything was set up.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. And we had it working. We swore it was working. The guys in Virginia were helping, you know, remotely logging in to make sure it's working. So we're all set up. We're all on the couch. We're set to go. We hit start streaming. Red screen comes up. And then again. And again. And again. So yeah, that's where we've been, but now apparently we are up and running. And so thank you for your patience. So today, Thursday, not a Friday, but got a top 10 list. I'm sitting with some really cool people. I am sitting, of course, with my lovely wife, the Lady J. Janet, and my son, Wave Mike, who are also sitting in with us for a few minutes. They're going to depart, but wanted to say hi from Seattle. So say hi, Jan and Michael, and
Hey, everybody.
they're going to go off. So thank you,
Going?
baby. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Forgot to mention the cat.
Oh, yeah,
And
where's
the
the cat?
cat's
I'm
here.
sorry, what's the cat's name?
Mia.
There's Mia. So Mia's very comfortable. Mia's having fun. You guys get comfortable. What we're going to do is we're going to do first the top 10. Then I'm going to introduce everyone on the team. They can talk about themselves for a little bit or not, totally up to them. And then we're going to get to some questions. So obviously, yeah, I'm here in Seattle. As you can see, these are some of the people who will help deliver on the game over the next how many months. We'll be adding another member of the team starting in January. George is waving. Yeah, keep waving. We should do the Queen Elizabeth wave, right? The royalty wave. That's right. Yeah, can we do that? I'm also wearing socks, no shoes, and I'm the one. I think I'm the only one who has holes in my socks, which shows you how much I care about such things. What?
Sound quality's not good.
Is that what they're saying? So, can you guys in chat confirm for me that the sound quality is not good? Because my son just said, reading the comments, that it's not. And
Good for one person.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's fine now. Nothing.
fine now?
All right.
All right. So anyway, so in Seattle, what, Mike?
It's all good.
All good? Okay, excellent. Bye, guys.
Bye. We're going to Best Buy.
So all good. Like I said, these are the current team members. Another team member will be joining us in January, and hopefully more after that. Part of my job here over the next couple of days, we're actually going to see some more properties tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a studio for these guys, because I know a couple guys who were just like, that one right there, especially that, can't wait to get out of the house to work in the office. Because I did promise everyone that we'd get an office as soon as possible, and Lord knows we've been looking.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah, Brittany has been having a lot of fun. She really likes this part of the
Oh,
job.
yeah, really, really do enjoy this part of my job. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, B. But that's, it's part of the process. And one of the things I told her when she came on board is she'd learn about just how much fun it is to run your own studio and all the challenges that, you would encounter, including some incredibly stupid ones, like this one has been.
It's a learning experience.
It is a learning experience. But hopefully we are actually switching realtors. Had a good conversation with one about 2 hours ago. Going to see some more properties tomorrow. Hopefully we have these guys and gals into a space. We might even be able to have them in before the end of the year. That's what we're looking, so I'll tell, I actually didn't give her the full scoop.
You know I'm out of town next week, right?
Huh? Yeah. We don't need you. We got 5 other people, 4 other people. What we had talked about with sublets, that the other realtor wasn't looking at, they have a few.
Okay,
So they might actually have one that we could actually move into very quickly.
cool.
But we'll see.
That's happy.
Yeah, Matt would be like, yeah, I'm there. I don't care where it is.
I don't care.
Somewhere with people.
Want to commute to Northern
Ideally, these
Virginia?
people, but whatever, other people too, could be good.
Yeah.
We've got space in Northern Virginia.
That's good.
So yeah,
Lots
So-
of people there.
it's true. It's true.
The commute is rough.
Well, not if you do it once a year. I mean, if you're doing it every day, yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah.
But if you do it once a year, it's not so bad. But anyway, so yeah, let's start with the top 10 list. Other than the top 10, everything before I left late yesterday was going very well in the studio. And I think these top 10, I think there are 12 on this list, actually reflect that. So, first and foremost, more on stabilization of our networking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Apparently I left my phone in the car. Yeah, hey, good. No messages that the studio burned down. So yeah, more stabilization on the networking. As I told you folks last week, thanks to our wonderful bot testing system, we've been uncovering bugs, both with the Microsoft code, as he found out, and as well as our own code, that we wouldn't have found until we went to an open beta. And so that's one of the beauties of this, is that we are getting and finding and getting things fixed way before we would have gotten it fixed otherwise. So we continue to push more and more bots, in other words, more and more player connections with the game, and nothing but good. It is absolutely nothing but good news now and going forward. Particle performance improvements. George has been working on revamping the particle system, and he told us this week that he increased by 3 times.
Yep. I've got another 3 times now.
Yes.
Nice!
It still needs to go a little further, but
From the original or from the second?
from the second. I mean, because
So
total
9.
it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because it would be like, right?
8
times.
times as fast together.
Yeah. So, we've been promising you folks a new animation system, which Andrew's been working on, and a greatly improved VFX system, which obviously George and Dave have been working on. So that's moving along really nicely as well. Sadly, we fixed drowning. Drowning of walls, drowning of bots is just so much fun. I mean, I know you all remember when Rob announced many months ago that a wall could actually drown because that's just awesome. But we have fixed it so we can still drown bots and players and walls, but unfortunately, or in this case, I guess it is fortunate, we have improved the performance of that instead of having them suffer, while they were drowning.
It's a quick death.
It's a quick death, yeah. And drowning a wall over time is just fun. Banes and boons improvements. So as we continue to get the banes and boons put in for beta, we've been making improvements to the back end as we lay in the new banes and boons. And obviously we'll have a brand new UI for implementing banes and boons. Sounds and abilities, still a work in progress. That's something that DB has been working on and Gabe has been working on, and that is coming along very nicely. Obviously, part of having an immersive system is an immersive game, is an ability system that looks good, which is why the ability system, the new animation system and the VFX system, sound is part of that as well. And so having not only sound go off when abilities go off, which is an obvious need, but just as importantly, if you have a fireball hitting a water ball making steam, having sound that goes along with it, kind of necessary as well. Work in progress still, the animation system. This is obviously a longer task for Andrew, but he keeps putting it in phases, and every time he puts in another section, things have been seem to be going along very nicely. So that's going to continue, obviously, the rest of the year and next year as well. But again, this is always going to be, whether it's the VFX system, whether it's the animation system, abilities, these are all work in progresses. We are never going to stop work on any of these systems because, frankly, we can't. It's something that always can be tweaked. One of the things that Andrew likes to say, for example, about optimizations is that it's always a rabbit hole. And he's right. We can keep going deeper, and we're going to continue going deeper because, after all, it's our engine. And so continuing to improve things, kind of necessary. Another work in progress with themed statues. So, art, good, more going in. Tools. So one of the things that was an issue certainly at Mythic in the beginning and for most studios that are building their own work are tools. And you don't get to say a lot of good things about the tool guys and gals. Usually they don't get as much, certainly, acclaim as somebody like George, who's always, mentioned as the rendering guy, or Colin when we were talking about the network code, and Matt coming on with abilities, and Brad, who's been doing so many different things since he first joined us. But look, tools are important. We continue to improve them. It's something that if we can get some additional programmers as well, that we would, I know as a team, want, and this is the art and programming teams, and certainly Ben and I on the design side would like to do more. So we have been improving those and want to improve them more going forward. We've made some passes on the one of the first places of power. So there's some cool changes going in there that I think you folks will like. You'll see that coming rather shortly. More art, specifically some assets to make the various biomes look more alive. We've got a couple Easter eggs in there that, especially one that's kind of fun. I hope you appreciate the joke. But I do think there'll be some people, we have a bet in the studio, who will not appreciate the joke because, being able to laugh at yourself as a studio is kind of important. It's something that we stress to everyone. Everyone, for example, here, during the interview process, we all talked about our ability to want to work at a studio where you can make fun of yourself. You can look at something dumb that you did and laugh because you have to. And it's the same with us as a whole and as the game. We will make mistakes and we try to occasionally have a little fun with them. One of the assets in there particularly is a lot of fun. Let's see, more VFX added by Mike. So that more work and research done by Mike as well. So for those of you who obviously played Dark Age of Camelot and Warhammer. You remember Mike's great work on those games, and I expect more is coming. The last thing is on some of our armor. So the fall TDD heavy armor has begun to be rigged, as well as the Luca pants. So, good top 10-ish list, especially for a Thursday. By tomorrow, I expect to have a little bit more info, though I won't be doing an update, though Tyler will. And so, not a filmed update. We may do an update, a quick text update that will talk hopefully about a test. We'll see if we can get something going this weekend. And then we may have some additional news. So that's it on the top 10. Now we're going to talk to about the guys and gals here, and then we'll go to some questions. So let's be polite. Brittany.
Whatever.
So you folks know, because you've seen updates that have talked about her, Brittany is our technical producer. She's responsible for not only running the team out here, but running the programming team as a whole under Andrew. So she is helping not keep these guys in line, but more keep the studios aligned, keep the programmers, talking to each other, making sure that if things, emails get missed, if things aren't quite getting the attention they should, she's going to be there. She's also, doing some unsung hero stuff, like, looking at property after property, which is really, if you folks, hopefully many of you have actually bought your own home or your own apartment.
This is a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it's, well, go ahead. Without lead-in, go ahead, B.
So it's interesting because, I recently went through the process of buying a house, which is already, a nightmare. And I was like, oh, yeah, it can't be that hard. And, 16 offices later, I'm like, okay, no, this is really fun. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity, as I say, gritting my teeth.
That's us.
Right.
No, I mean, it's been fun to go look at a place, take some pictures, and then I've been emailing these guys every time I finish one. I'm like, well, here's the positives, here's the negatives, here's the costs, and just kind of factoring in all of the things that we're looking for, because we're not only looking for a place that works for all of us, but in the event we want to hire a couple more programmers out here. So we need enough space for us, a little bit more space to expand, so we don't have this really, really tight space that's uncomfortable. We want to have a space that's really good for all of our commutes, because currently all of our commutes are roll out of bed and then get in front of a computer. So all of us are going to have a slightly longer commute, and we just want to make sure that that's as good as it possibly can be. So that's probably the biggest factor in finding a space, is location and then size, because I'm all about keeping people happy if we can.
Cool. So, you want to say anything else?
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say.
I don't know. You caught me off guard, man.
Aw, yeah, how do you like that? She says, we caught her off guard. We've been setting this up. We're going to do this. We're going to talk a
I'm in the
little
ones
bit about
sending
each
the
other.
emails about
Is this
it.
live? What?
Oh my God!
I thought we were still on the red square.
You could tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All
I
right,
know nothing
cool.
about you.
I was waiting for a lead-in, guys. Dang it.
Aw,
Who are you?
improvise.
All right. So I originally had a plan of becoming a programmer and building video games via code. So I went to Digipen Institute of Technology, which is a game school out here in Redmond, Washington. And Digipen is a really interesting curriculum where you're actually building teams and then making games together and going through all of the pitfalls that you would kind of on a broader scale. And so you end up fighting with your team, find out design doesn't work, you try and hit your schedule, you have milestones. It's sort of like game development on training wheels a lot. And that was sort of where I learned about what a producer is. And initially I was like, someone just does a schedule? That sounds really lame and boring. Who would want to do that? And I think eventually what had happened was I did a programming internship at Fifth Cell building tools for Scribblenauts and Drawn to Life. And it was super satisfying and really great, but kind of comparing that with the production stuff I was doing at school, I kind of said, well, I get a lot of satisfaction out of writing code, but I get significantly more satisfaction out of helping other people make games and other people be successful. And that sounds super corny, but it's absolutely true. So I decided after graduation I was just going to jump in, become a producer. I went back to Fifth Cell, worked on Scribblenauts and various other games for about 6.5 years, and then briefly flirted with mobile. I went to a studio called Dropforge, which was Wargaming Seattle's mobile studio, and then recently joined City State, like end of September, early October. So yeah, about 8.5 years full-time production, but I still code from time to time. I try not to lose it.
So cool.
Yeah.
And she's been doing great. Not just for suffering. Yeah. See, I didn't tell you guys we're also going to do reviews for all of them now live.
I'm like,
but no, she has put up with some nonsense. I mean, dealing with realtors, landlords is just the suck. It's really not a lot of fun, and it's very frustrating because no matter what, you're trying to find something that can make a lot of people happy, and it's hard enough if you've looked for your own home with 2 people, or if you have kids, little ones to make happy. You've got to make everyone here happy, me happy, just fit into a whole lot of check boxes that have to actually be checked. So it's a thankless job.
And things you wouldn't expect, like, does this
Yeah.
place have a sink?
Exactly.
Which is actually like something, like, this place is great, it doesn't have a sink. Can we
Yeah.
do one? Are we okay with filling up the coffee pot in the bathroom? Like, how badly do we want this?
This conversation happened.
Yes.
yeah.
Very much so.
Cool. So then we'll go to George. George, you guys and gals know, was the first person we had in Seattle. If it wasn't for him, not only would the game not look anywhere near as good as it looks now, it wouldn't perform as well. We're using a library, the Parallel Library, you've heard us mention, that is his baby. And frankly, without him, there is no way in this lifetime that we would have set up a studio here in Seattle at the present time. We owe George a deep debt of gratitude for, again, not only his great work as a programmer, but all the effort he has made to make Seattle happen, including his recruiting expertise, because he's brought some of the folks you see here, on board. So,
Although I did have Brittany's help
yes,
a
you
little
did.
bit, but even
Yes, you
even
did.
before she started
I
here.
did give him a spreadsheet with Brad's name, and
That's
I also
true.
did give him a spreadsheet with Matt's name,
Yep.
and then George got me the job, so.
Which is a good thing, which is all a good thing. So yeah, George obviously has been awesome, and he knows really well how highly he is thought of. So with that being said, George, you're up.
I feel like I've already gone through this once before.
Yeah. But you want to add
So
anything?
it's easier this time, right?
Yeah, you don't have to go through your whole history.
Yeah.
What have you done since that video?
Yeah.
Well, I've been working on some graphical features in this game, Camelot Unchained, mostly.
Just the easy stuff, graphics and threading.
I've been doing graphics, yeah, just the easy things. I've been doing graphics and threading work and platform work for games for, I think, 12 or 13 years now at this point. So I've been at a lot of studios, Warner Brothers, Bungie, and I really like making games. It's not all about the flashy stuff, but I do like working on the hard stuff. So I would be just as content doing threading or memory stuff as I am doing graphics, but I like seeing stuff on the screen, so that's very fun. A lot of math. This is my house here in Seattle.
Yes.
And that's his
It's
tree.
gorgeous.
It's
real
That's
nice.
my
much
tree.
better
Cat.
tree than we have.
I have-
That's his cat. It's not Brad's.
I have nothing to do with this. It's all,
No.
all my wife.
Cool. Okay. Then we'll move on. We'll cut to the right and go to Brad, because Brad was the second person we added to the programming team. So Brad,
All right.
go ahead.
All right. I guess some background on me. I don't know how far back we want to go. Back when I was 2 years old. I actually went to college for electrical engineering and was doing wildland firefighting as a summer job, and decided I like doing wildland firefighting and making money and playing video games more and going to college. So I did that for a long time, and then eventually decided this job's really hard. I want to go back to school, so I moved to Seattle, and I got my computer science degree because I was spent a lot of time playing video games, and I'm like, hey, why don't I just go make these for a living? So I got my computer science degree here from the University of Washington, and one of my professors gave me a recommendation in a studio here in the Seattle area at that time called Amaze Entertainment. If you've ever played any of the Game Boy kind of movie licensed games, you've probably played an Amaze game. I worked there for about a year and a half, and then I was a big MMO player. I will story I will share about Dark Age Camelot on that after I'm done. But
It's not about left X, is it?
what's that?
It's not about left X, is it?
No.
Oh, thank God.
But there was a local studio here in Seattle making a game called Guild Wars. So I interviewed at ArenaNet and ended up spending over 8 years at ArenaNet. So that was a pretty great experience. Learned a lot in my time there. There were some pretty great programmers to work under. And then a few years ago, I guess I'd been there enough. I needed to branch out, try something different, just kind of challenge myself as a programmer. So I ended up going to FISL, which is where I met Brittany. And I was at FISL for a little over a year, I guess, when they went through a big round of layoffs. So that was in March. So then I was going through the whole interview process and had no idea what I was going to do next. And that's when George emailed me. And, at first I was just like, oh, another MMO. I'm like,
I remember you and I having that conversation before. You're like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I've done the MMO thing.
After working for Guild Wars 2 for 5.5 years to ship that game, I was like, I don't know if I have the endurance. But,
Funny, we had that same discussion at the studio too.
yeah.
Before we even started the MMO.
Well, I had a conversation with you in the phone calls during kind of the whole recruitment phase, and like I kind of briefly mentioned, I was a big Dark Age Camelot fan, so a lot of excitement there, and then just the scope and the design of the game. This is very similar to the MMO that I always wanted to make when I was playing MMOs, kind of hardcore. So Mark convinced me, and so I came on and been with the studio about 6 months now, I think. So it's been pretty good time. But the story I was going to share as far as Dark Age was that when I moved to Seattle was when Dark Age came out, and me and my now wife, at the time girlfriend, we played Dark Age of Camelot together. It was the first MMO that she'd ever played, and so it was a pretty interesting time teaching her how to play video games.
Cool. So, like I said, Brad's touched a bunch of systems since he joined us and has been doing a tremendous job. We are very, very happy that he too is part of the team. Moving now to my right, the next member is Colin.
All right.
So, Colin, you've seen some of the work that he's done. Certainly the multi-server tech with Islands and other things that we're doing can be firmly blamed on him. So, if you like it, which is good, which we hope, because we certainly like it, expect more good things, coming from Colin. So, want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I went to DigiPen as well, around the same time as Brittany.
Yeah, I think you were 2 years before me.
About 2 years, yeah. And then the first job that I worked at was at WB Games. I worked with George. We worked on Lord of the Rings, War in
Starting
the
to see a
North.
pattern
Yeah.
here.
Some connection between everyone?
One degree of separate, that's the
Very
one
small
degree of
industry.
separation.
Very, very small industry.
And after that, I moved on to Signal Studios, which you might know them for the Toy Soldiers games on Xbox. And I worked on Ascend, Hand of Call for the Xbox 360 and PC. And that was a lot of fun. There was a lot of cool networking stuff that I worked on there. I worked on Toy Soldiers War Chest after that. And I'm here doing lots of fun network programming. Did the multi-server tech. I'm working on more scalability type things so we can run physics on its own server. And yeah, I like doing complicated networking things.
Cool. Cool. So last but certainly not least is Matt. So Matt had, one of the I think distinction is the right word. So we had interviews, and I liked you a lot, and was really excited about having Matt potentially join us. And after I get through the interview process, we turn them over to Andrew, and after Andrew, we get to the test, and we evaluate everyone. And Andrew has his opinion, I have my opinion, almost every time they're in line, which is a very good thing. And so I was a little bit more gung ho about Matt right from the beginning. Not that Andrew wasn't, but it was just like, I really like this guy. I really like what I've heard about him. I really love the interview. And when Andrew did the interview and then did the code test, he was like, hire him. That's it. Hire him. So, so Matt has been thrown right into the deep end of the pool, which we pretty much do with everybody, but I think the deeper end certainly. What?
That's not special to him. That's
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And, he's been doing great so far, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself.
So thank you very much. That was very flattering. I am a professional programming test taker.
Where's my money?
You
promise. Wait,
sorry, I got
to check at dinner.
Yeah, that would be fine. So I have the other distinction of being not in games all that long. I actually started out. I went for computer science at UMass Amherst, which doesn't really teach anything relating to games. And then I worked for a little company out here in the Seattle area known as Microsoft for about 7.5 years, mostly doing sort of enterprise.NET stuff. I switched to a game team there. That was really great. If any of those guys are watching, hey. Otherwise, they shut that down.
How unusual.
Also a
And so then I went to another really cool company in the area. You might have heard of them. They were called Dropforge. Brittany just mentioned them about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Where I met some really cool people, including Brittany. And now I'm here because I met Brittany.
And Dropforge shut down.
And Dropforge got shut down. Yeah, so I've been working on a bunch of different game projects over the last 2 years that haven't really gotten anywhere near shipping because they always seem to get canceled. And so I'm really looking forward to actually shipping a PC game and having some hand in this.
Yeah, well, we won't be shutting down before. No.
Let's break that streak.
If you
Break
did,
the streak.
I will take credit if it happens because it's just been happening a lot to me in the last 2 years.
Well, then you can always change your name to Jonah.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, so this is the current team in Seattle. I could say, yeah, you could tell by what they said, you could tell by the resumes, blah, 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 that they're good. More importantly, you can tell by the work that they've done since they've come on board. And that's really important to keep in mind. I mean, you hear about the connections between them, and maybe this is just, a bit of, industry insiders helping other industry insiders, but that's not the case. These are really, we said no to so many people from companies, unfortunately, fortunately for us and certainly unfortunately for the companies themselves like Dropforge and others who lost a lot of really good people. We like to think that we got the best. We got the people who not only because they were really good at their jobs, but just as importantly, they wanted to make the game we're making, and they wanted to fit in with the culture that we have in the studio. That allows us to do stuff like this, to embarrass ourselves at times, to not take ourselves too seriously, and to work hard for you folks to make a great game. And so I want to thank all of them, everyone here who's part of the team, as well as the new person who will be joining us, next month, and others who will be joining us hopefully over the next 6 months as we build out this team more in Seattle. And thanks, to Brittany and Tyler's efforts on the production side, keeping them nice and integrated. Running separate teams and studios can be hard. Certainly there are games that have really, studios that have struggled with that. We're not going to struggle. We'll have issues, everyone does, but struggle is different, and we're not going to struggle. And one of the reasons why is the people who are sitting on the couch, next to me. So I am As I've thanked all of you before, privately, I want to thank you all again publicly for taking a chance on us. Everyone here is working very hard, and frankly, as I've told our backers before, everyone on this couch could get more at other studios. You just couldn't. But you're taking a chance because you believe in us, you believe in the studio, and that's a big deal. And so from the absolute bottom of my heart, from everyone in Virginia, and especially from Andrew, my partner and co-founder, thank you all for being, part of CSE and for doing the work you've done to date. So, thanks, guys. So, yeah, now it's the fun time.
Well, now we found out the stream cut out like half an hour.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah.
I've been wondering the whole time.
Oh, is that? Oh shit! That's what they've been saying on the phone.
Yeah, no,
I've been checking my
I-
phone like, when is Tyler gonna contact
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Things to go horribly
Yeah,
wrong.
So-
none of that was recorded.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be great?
You have to come on again.
I'll be better next time.
Yeah. I'll be you next time. How about that?
So George is going to move over, I think, and we're going to start to do the question and answer part that I know you folks love so much, especially when we avoid the questions. But we'll try, as usual, not to. Please, no questions about when Beta 1 is going to start. We're not going to answer that other than to say, watch the progress, watch as more features are added, watch as, we have more and more tests. And next year, early next year, I promise we will have a date for you, just not certainly this year. And if there are any questions on stick and follow, I'm not going to answer those. So having said that, if you have any questions about the people here, questions about the game, we'll take at least a half hour of questions. So go Gadget.
I'm looking. So far, it's all about the cat.
Awesome.
That's okay.
Yeah, we will.
That is so awesome.
Look at it.
Yeah.
This is mostly
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
When will someone fix the focus? Is that better?
You don't want to see us.
It's the cat's
Yeah.
fault.
Focus on the cat.
To the Seattle dev team, can you give us any examples of the capabilities or goals of Camelot Unchained that caused you to say wow during the interview process?
Good question. Who asked that?
That
Nice
was
question.
Grumpy043.
Hey, nice question, Grumpy.
Yeah, I have one. Coming from Unity development, being able to use modern C# again is oh my god! I think I said as much on the
You
phone.
did.
You're like, wow! Oh my god! It's real C# again. That's amazing. So yeah, that's for me. That's been great.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Kind of along the same lines, but I mean just the scalability of the engine to be able to support the bots and stuff, which you guys have seen. But yeah, that's not very common. And to be a little
Yeah. Nice, Brad.
to be a little technical, the way the server's designed with the kind of functional programming and like the massively like threaded engine type stuff is really unique. Like as I mentioned, I work on Guild Wars, but it was kind of more an engine, even the server, based on older technology with threads obviously, but more you're looking at 2, 3, 4 threads. You're not really looking at this massively parallel 32, 64 thread type, and that's just completely different architecture than when you're just dealing with a few threads. So it's a pretty interesting design.
Hang on. Colin, you got that?
Just the number of players that we can handle at once was really impressive to me. Even 6 months ago, it was very impressive.
That's just going to get better. It's just going to get better.
George,
Okay.
stop texting.
I was talking to Andrew.
Andrew, stop texting.
Will you have a constant video stream set up between the offices with a data projector?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already started calling it the portal to the east.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And Robo
that's great.
Grid in it.
Yeah, no, we definitely searched for like the little robots where you just stick an iPad on it,
Yeah.
and I can just walk around the office. 'Cause right now I just hang out on a TV all day, and it was previously like over Gabe and Dave, and I was like, I wonder if they've like cut out an Eye of Sauron and just the TV at this point.
We couldn't run a wire like over the ceiling.
Yeah.
I just
So yeah, now my TV's been put in the corner, which I'm okay with. Dave and Gabe a little bit, but it's cool. But yeah, we definitely want to have the TV up and running all the time just so we can talk to each other. I think that's been the biggest challenge with having sort of the remote office is just making sure that we're in constant communication with each other, but also making sure that like we know sort of what everyone else is doing so we can help out where we can. And it's easy to sit on a TV all day, but it feels a little bit more complete when we're all just kind of there together. So.
Exactly.
Guinness says, George, did you hide a pickle in the tree? And the
Oh my gosh!
Is this really a thing?
Yes, it is really a thing.
thing.
And the answer is yes, but we were looking for it earlier and couldn't find it. So.
Somebody ate it.
Was it the cat?
It might have been the cat.
Rocket
That's
Mist asks,
No, I ain't.
will there be streams from the Seattle office too?
I hope so.
Oh, absolutely. You know, look, it's the same thing that applies to the Virginia stream. We don't try to embarrass people. We don't try to force them to be, you know, on camera when they don't want to be, which is why you don't see all the people from Virginia do things like this. And it'll be the same thing out here once these folks get their own office.
I'm not seeing any more messages right now.
Questions.
I'm looking for questions.
Questions.
Any more questions?
Oh, there's got to be. I guarantee it.
Or maybe the window has paused in some fashion that doesn't show me any more questions.
I know these folks.
I'm looking for a pickle.
Don't we have plants from the other office that could be out?
Yeah, this window just stopped up there.
Oh,
I'm looking at the other one now. Okay.
Did they all go home?
now the window broke, it looks like.
What's your best experience at CSE so far from Foggy? I'm guessing this is for the new people.
Yeah. Good question. Good one, Foggy.
I'm having a lot of fun right now, honestly. Like I like, I don't know, working from home has been tough for me, so I like any opportunity I get.
I think it's been tough for all of
To
us,
see
but
these
it's been
people,
most tough for
It's
Matt.
been super hard for me.
Yeah,
So like
man,
I think we've gone out to lunch
Everybody else
twice.
loves it.
We've gone out to lunch twice, and like
Matt's like, you know, I could go out to lunch more, guys.
like
Hey, we could go get lunch, guys.
Crazy different day, right? So,
We all eat.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Matt, you can leave the house. You don't need her. You just need out.
This is fun, though. You don't get to do this sort of thing at other studios.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess the first thing I worked on when I came on was some of the building stuff and doing the, you guys might have seen the video of this cylinder stuff, and that's totally up my alley. I like doing a lot of the procedural stuff, and big Lego fan. I've got a whole room pretty much dedicated to my kids' Legos and my kids' Legos at home. So
we'll straight from there next week.
I
yeah.
know.
We almost did today.
Yeah.
Could have just had
I opted for Christmas tree. So.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Christmas tree was the right call.
That's right.
So my cat might have been on camera, but he would have been flying through and tackling the camera. So probably better.
Probably better we
Yeah,
got the.
this cat is so chill.
So good. It's just cleaning itself. Just hanging out.
Guinness asks, Brittany, what does a technical producer do?
Oh God, you know, hell if I know. What is it
Yeah,
saying?
way to reassure them.
No, it's funny because anytime you ask a producer like, hey, what is it you do? They all just kind of go, because it's really like a hard thing to describe. Like I do a lot of scheduling. I do daily task management. I make sure that holes in communication aren't showing up. That if someone's saying, oh, I'm working on this thing, keeping in mind sort of what everyone else in the programming team is working on and saying, oh, we should go talk and have a meeting. Let's just chat real quick. Figuring out dependencies in the pipeline. Let's say Brad works on something and then we need to build the tools front end, like, well, where does Bull's schedule line up? And just kind of taking all of these various pieces of a puzzle and making them work. So it's been really great because it's allowed Tyler to kind of get back to a lot more art side of things, which is awesome. And like being able to just come in, figure out what all the programmers are doing, talk with Tyler, figure out what the art team's doing, figure out how the two of us can make sure both of our teams have everything they need to make a game. So it's a lot of talking, a lot of note-taking, a lot of communicating, but more often than not, it's just a lot of sitting back and listening. Like I literally do sit on a camera for at least 8 hours a day with my headphones on, just kind of listening to what's happening in the office. And a lot of times those conversations are what spur, oh, yeah, no, we totally need to work on that thing. So it's a lot of just I have no idea what I'm doing on a day when I come into work, but at the end of the day, I've done so much that I'm just like, I can't believe it's already over. So that's a very high level understanding of kind of what a technical producer does.
I'd like to add that you facilitate other people getting their jobs done.
Yes.
That's your primary job, is making sure that everyone else can work as fast and smoothly as they can.
I enable people to be
Yeah.
successful at their jobs.
Yeah.
She listens to us when we complain.
Yes, that's, I'm kind of like
That's another way of putting it. But
I'm like, well, no, it's like I'm part like psychiatrist, part cat herder, part mom, part
Yeah.
like boss lady. Like it's this weird role of like you be the person you need to be at any given moment. But there's a lot of times that I'm like, making fun of myself, poking fun at other people, or just having like a heart-to-heart conversation with people, understanding like, well, what are you going through right now? How is your wife? Like, kind of whatever. It's building relationships with people, because if we all sort of believe in each other, we're gonna make a badass game.
And a lot of the scheduling stuff is making sure, two people don't break the same thing at the same time,
Yeah, that's
or stop each other from working, or need something from someone else and they have never realized how important that was to you continuing getting your work done.
we're working on this thing over here. This is likely to cause a problem over here. What can we do to mitigate that in the time being? There's just lots of little things that you sort of pick up that are hard to describe when put in front of a camera and ask this question that I totally should have known was coming.
Standard interview question.
I know. I know. But even then, like so I walk into my interview and Andrew goes, "So why did you join the dark side?" Because why would I know this programming? It was like, and then I sort of went into an explanation of everything I just did.
You just program, but instead of like writing code, you move people around.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Brad, would you like to answer a question about Guild Wars 2 differences in PvP with our game? Or pass
Is that
on
the
that?
question? Is the
Yeah.
question
No.
Do you want to do this?
Kind of a sub question there. I don't know that I could really speak at this time. I mean, because PvP is a pretty complicated thing, so it kind of grows with the game. I guess the big difference is we kind of have the rock, paper, scissors, the realm versus realm. I don't know. Am I allowed to use that term?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Whereas Guild Wars didn't. Of course, obviously being able to build your own skills, kind of creates a metagame there that I think is going to be one of the more interesting things at Camelot Unchained, because not unlike Hearthstone or some of these other games where people start to run certain builds and then people adapt and there's this kind of back and forth. Guild Wars was much more static in that. So I don't know. Can't think of any more depth.
I think that
than
covers it
yet.
in as much deep depth as we can right now. For everyone, is there anything specific that you most look forward to about adding or improving the game in the future?
Well, like I mentioned, I worked on buildings earlier, and I'm working on them again, doing pretty big refactor to allow for the kind of cylinder morph and like more type shape stuff instead of just a regular grid. I think for me, like I said, kind of right in my alley for the type of stuff I like to work on. But I also think that will add a lot of uniqueness to the game and allow people to kind of express a little bit of creativity in how they build their buildings. And so I'm looking forward to getting that to a point where I can show it to you guys and even maybe do a stream about how it all works.
I'm looking forward to eventually being able to seamlessly transition between zones, which are actually on different servers, and have that all just work and have a world that's distributed across multiple servers that seems like one server. I think that's going to be cool.
That is such a thing that, like, when you say it, it sounds so simple, but like,
I know.
Yeah, it's so much
work.
work.
It's like so insane. Like,
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's part of the beauty of what a lot of programmers do, not just at City State, but other games as well, that, they're doing some tremendously difficult tasks that may seem easy to people, but just aren't. And that's part of the beauty, of the job, that when you can do that, it's not always appreciated, level of difficulty, because we don't have judges there going, oh yeah, that's a 9-9, that's a 9-8. The Russian judge says 5-2. But it's something that is really satisfying when you can do that, and even sometimes in the back of your mind as a programmer, when they don't appreciate it, you just kind of go, if you only knew just how hard it was. So for me, it's crafting. I want to see a full crafting system into the game, and obviously, as we move through beta, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about creating a great system, and looking forward to your folks' reactions.
I don't have a particular thing right now. I got dropped into the ability system, which was the thing that I was, from outside, most excited to work on. I'm looking forward to just being comfortable enough in that system and familiar enough with the rest of the game components that I can actually sort of do a more sort of an end-to-end kind of experience rather than just being sort of way in the deep part of it. But I've only been working for like 2 months, so I got still just a little bit of stuff to figure out first.
I think the thing I'm most excited about from like the game side is the ability system, and that was one of the things that really, really excited me about the game, because it felt a lot like previous games I've worked on, like with Scribblenauts. You just have this ton of data management, figuring out all the different things that come out of that. I was like, oh yeah, we got this. We can do this again. It's fine. But like all of the cool stuff that comes from taking like this primary component and this secondary, and then what happens. It's that discovery element of it that's really fun. From a production standpoint, I'm really excited about building a better way to do dependency tracking, which I know everyone is super excited about.
We are.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. You should have. Oh.
Yay!
I'll share the cat.
It's a pretty cool cat. No, we are. Just so you know, I'm not being sarcastic.
Oh, I know.
Sorry.
This is what gets me up in the morning. Dependency tracking.
That and coffee.
That's it.
And your cat.
Brittany, do you
Oh,
work?
wait, no. We don't get off.
Oh.
That's dry.
What kind of features? I'm really looking forward to getting some of the features in that I'm prepping for now, but I can't talk about them because depending on how they speed test on low-end hardware, they may or they may not go in. So, and it's that way with a lot of the graphical features. Yep. Cool things may or may not be coming. They will. Very cool things will happen.
Oh, God.
Brittany, do you work with the people in the Virginia office as well?
Absolutely, I work with the people in the Virginia office. I actually had a meeting with Gabe yesterday to scrub through his Trello queue and figure out what's relevant, what we need to actually combine, what we need to condense down, where we need to find questions. I'm actually going through and doing that with every programmer on the team, both Washington and Virginia, building out backlogs, figuring out what everyone likes to work on, what people necessarily aren't so excited about. That's one of the other things that I try and do. Like if someone is really, really excited about graphics, like let's make sure that they keep working on graphics. And if they're not so excited about this other part of the game, let's find someone who is. So yeah, I do a lot of meetings with the Virginia guys. Like we'll all sit in a conference room and then I'm up on a wall. I think I'm up on a wall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I know that there's a microphone there, and then I'm up on a wall, and then every time someone bangs on the table, it sounds like an earthquake, which is fun.
Because we're
But
in
yeah,
Seattle. So
yeah.
it might actually be.
It might actually be an earthquake. It's finally the big one.
You're watching them from the magic mirror.
I am. It's the Eye of Sauron. But yeah, no, I work with every program on the team.
An off-topic question for everyone: are you guys currently playing any games?
Yeah, totally.
No. What games are you currently
What
playing?
are games?
I just got my Oculus Touch, so I've been playing different things with that, and that's pretty amazing. So, just trying to. Nothing specific, just whatever came with it. I can't remember the name of the game. It's the cowboy shooting one that was fun.
I've been playing a lot of, no surprise, Dark Age of Camelot. I've been playing a lot of WoW. I've been playing a lot of Rift. Just kind of see what all of the games are doing differently, what lessons I can learn from it kind of as a player, and as we move into beta, what are sort of the experiences that people are expecting or not expecting that we can kind of take lessons from, and making sure that that's all actually scheduled. I also play Mario from time to time.
On your iPhone?
No, not yet.
Just released today, right?
What?
Yeah.
I'm playing a little bit of Final Fantasy. Is it 15 right now? Because I want that the newest one. I want that MMO feel without the other players.
Right.
There are a bunch of MMOs who feel the same way.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of old games recently.
Oh, really? What
Finished
what?
Planescape Torment.
Oh,
Great game. Yeah.
It's a great game.
Great game.
Right, it's
Yeah.
Okay, there's a great segue there. Have you played Tyranny yet? Obsidian's new game?
no.
I've been playing it a lot. it's very reminiscent of those old school CRPGs.
Yeah. Obsidian's done the
Yeah.
Ferguson Company have done
Have
a
you
really
tried
good job there.
Pillar?
Oh, I
Pillars of
played
Eternity?
through Pillars. I kickstarted Pillars, but
Yeah.
this is their new game. It's I had a great time. So I've been playing that. A plus. But yeah, you playing any other older?
I just started. What is it? It's a really old Indiana Jones point and click adventure game.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
that is old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pixels are like that big on my monitor.
Ah!
What do we got, George?
I think this one is for Mark. How are you working to balance such a complicated ability system?
In the beginning, not. I mean, honestly, you know, the first draft of the ability system in Beta 1, we're barely trying to balance. I mean, Ben's spending a little bit of time on it, but it's not something that we want to spend a lot of time on now, because no matter what we balance, I guarantee you that no matter how we balance it today, it isn't going to be that way 2 months from now. And even more so, it won't be that way a year from now. At the end of the day, because we're a rock, paper, scissors game, we know that there will be some imbalances in the system. It goes along with the territory, guaranteed every single time. That's okay. We know that going in. We specifically set up beta this way, where we're starting only with 3, classes in the beginning to try to get a feel for them. Then we're going to add a few more. Do it slowly. Balance is something that you can try to achieve, but in a game like ours, you never achieve it. There will always be some imbalances. There will always be issues. This is true no matter whether you're making this game, Dark Age of Camelot, or Lord knows even games like WoW, which you have Blizzard's, not only Blizzard's talent, but their bank account that never seems to end. And they can't even get everything perfectly balanced. That's the nature of the beast.
It's so contextual too, right? Like what might be useful skill in like larger group combat is not necessarily the best skill in like 1v1 or even small group combat. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. That's one of the advantages of actually a complicated system, is that we're not just limiting people to a few abilities, where when you see an imbalance in a few, people get really angry, right? Because, well, I only have X number of abilities, and I can't compete. This class is just totally, nerfed right before you guys even nerfed anything. So with our component system, there are so many abilities, so many things that you can do, that even if there is a bit of an imbalance and that maybe one component should have been cheaper or should have had a little more power, you can make up for it. So, yeah, I'm really not worried about it, mainly because I know you can never achieve perfect balance, and we're always going to be, that's a fight that goes on from day one until the day the game closes down. That's it?
Yeah, I'm not seeing many more questions coming
Wow.
in. Any more questions?
Wow.
Saw the screen scroll.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
How's it? Are you guys still streaming?
Yep, still streaming. All right. Well, look, if we don't have any more, questions, then we'll do our usual. Thank you all, very much for your support. Thank you for your patience, and from live from Seattle,
From George's house.
from George's house and his couch, with the help of that's true. We're in Bothell. Is it technically Bothell or
Bothell, yeah.
Bothell.
No.
And with the help of his lights, we'll thank you. And Beverly Hills Billy's, wave. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And, we'll see you on the next stream. Have a great weekend, folks. I will not be streaming certainly tomorrow. There may be an update from Tyler, hopefully a test. And if not, I'll see you next week back in the studio.
Bye.
So bye all. Thanks.
And I just stop.